In this video, we're going to be solving an applied problem using a quadratic equation. In the box, it tells us that if we want to find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. And if we want to find the y-intercept, we're going to set x equal to 0. And we're going to use that in the problems to come. So in 1, it says find the x and y-intercepts of y is equal to negative 1/10 x squared plus 42x minus 1,260. So first to find the x-intercept, we're going to set y equal to 0. So we're going to say 0 is equal to negative 1/10 x squared plus 42x minus 1260. And we're going to solve for x. And here, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. But first, I'm going to multiply everything by negative 10 so I can get my leading coefficient to not be a fraction and so that it's positive. So we're going to have 0 is equal to x squared minus 420x plus 12,600. And now I'm going to use quadratic equations. So we have a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 420, and c is equal to 12,600. So x is equal to negative b, or negative 420, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so we're going to have negative 420 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 12,600, divided by 2a, or 2 times 1. And this is equal to negative 420 is 420 plus or minus, now the square root of negative 420 squared minus 4 times 1 times 12,600 is equal to 355, and we're divided by 2. And now we're going to do x is equal to 420 plus 355 divided by 2, and x is equal to 420 minus 355 divided by 2. In our first equation, 420 plus 355 divided by 2 is equal to 387.5. And in our second equation, 420 minus 355 divided by 2 is equal to 32.5. So we have x-intercepts at 387.5 and 32.5. And for y-intercept, we're going to set x equal to 0. So we're going to have y is equal to negative 1/10 times 0 squared plus 42 times 0 minus 1260. And y is equal to negative 1260. So our y-intercept is at negative 1260. And for 2, it says, a jewelry maker sells rings at craft shows. The profit depends on the number of rings produced. And they give us a profit function of p of x is equal to negative 1/10 x squared plus 42x minus 1260, where x is the number of rings and p is equal to profit in dollars. And in A, it asks, how many rings must be produced for the jeweler to break even? And if the jeweler breaks even, that means there's no profit, no loss. So we're going to set P of X equal to 0, or find the x-intercepts, which we did above. So from above, we know that negative 1/10 x squared plus 42x minus 1260 is equal to 0, when x is equal to 387.5 or 32.5. And because we can't produce and sell a half of a ring, we're going to round these values. So we can say that either 33 or 388 rings have to be produced for the jeweler to break even. And in B, they ask, if no rings are sold, is there a profit or a loss? And if we didn't produce any rings, then X would equal 0. And then we would have P of X is equal to negative 1/10 times 0 squared plus 42 times 0 minus 1260, and that's equal to, above we found negative 1260. So we can say if there are no rings sold, then there is a loss of $1,260. In 3, it says, find the x and y intercepts of y is equal to negative 16x squared plus 176x. So for the x-intercept, we're going to set y is equal to 0. So we have 0 is equal to negative 16x squared plus 176x. And I'm going to factor a negative 16x from the right side of the equation. So I have 0 is equal to negative 16x times x minus 11. And now we can find that x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 11. And for our y-intercepts, we're going to have x equal to 0. So we have y is equal to negative 16 times 0 squared plus 176 times 0. And this is equal to 0. So our y-intercept is 0, 0, or the origin. And then in 4, it asks, a projectile is thrown upward with an initial velocity of 176 feet per second. After t seconds, its height, h, above the ground is given by h is equal to negative 16 t squared plus 176 t. And in A, they ask, how many seconds after it is thrown will the projectile hit the ground? And when the projectile is on the ground, that means we set h equal to 0. So we would have 0 is equal to negative 16 t squared plus 176 t. And above, we found that this was equal to x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 11. Well, we want to know when it hits the ground, and we're going to throw it at time 0. So that means that the projectile will hit the ground 11 seconds after it is thrown. And in B, it says, interpret the answer when t is equal to 0. So when t is equal to 0, we found above that when we plugged 0 in for x, which now our x is t in our equation, that the output was also 0, y was 0, and in this case h is 0. So we could say that when t is equal to 0, h is also equal to 0. The interpretation in this problem is that when t is equal to 0, the projectile is thrown upward. So this video shows us how finding the x and the y intercepts of a quadratic equation can be used for applied problems. And that's all for this video on solving an applied problem using a quadratic equation.